Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second half of round number 2 of the 2024 Samui Swine Classic 11, presented by Latitude 64. Shasta Criss trying to hold off the rest of the field. He's been playing great golf. That's even with a very swollen hand. He was stung by some insect earlier in the day, but it doesn't seem to be slowing him down too much. Beautiful day here in Samui, and we're just past the halfway point. 33 of 66 holes in the books. We start back off on hole number 12, the very easy and birdieable 44-meter shot. Does have the triple mando. Shouldn't come into play if you're an experienced, calm, collected professional like our card. Gotta go through the two trees and then go underneath the banner. A little aggressive coming out of Shasta. Maybe trying to ring one up. Just to put it in perspective, through 33 completed holes, Shasta's 24 under, Philo's 22 under. Joel, short and left of the pin. Here's Krystof. Also left of the pin, but maybe pin high. In fact, just a little past it, but he gets it to drop. No problem. The first time through, when everyone played it, this had a birdie rate of 76%. When everyone played it this second time, 85% of the field with birdies. So, well, I'll just say this. 5 people didn't birdie it. 28 did. 5 didn't. Spoiler, all 4 of them do on this card. I'm not going to call it the 5 people who didn't. I, too, have missed hole 1/12. Doesn't feel good. What does feel good is sponsorship by Latitude 64, clutching up and then some to support this year's event. Thank you so much. Hole number 13. One of the tougher birdies to get for a righty backhand player. If you got a forehand, it's still difficult. If you're left-handed, it's still difficult. But a righty backhand thrower, certainly the most difficult birdie to get. You still can. There is a clean line or two if you execute perfectly, but it's the toughest one to get close to in terms of a birdie with a righty backhand. Philo birdied it during the first go-around today with a forehand. Does he have it again? Looks pretty good. Clean most of the way, which should still give him a long birdie luck. And we'll see what Krystof is left with. Now, Shasta bogeyed this during the front round. And so today, looks like he's going to go 1 over in round number 2. 1 over as a total on this particular hole. Solid birdie. course, you can find Samui Disc Golf on Facebook. We invite you guys to come join us pretty much any time of year. Lots of people have been making their way over here during a little bit of a Southeast Asia tour that takes place in mid-January and then carries on for the next month or two because there's a ton of great events to play in this general region. PDGA doing everything to help support and grow the game. Also become a PDGA member today. There's a link in the description to sign up as we head to the island of hole number 3/14. Just 194 feet. You got to put the brakes on because that OB comes in about 15 or 18 feet behind the basket. That's assuming you stay clean for the first 110 feet. A couple kicks and redirects there. That should put Philo right next to the pin or pretty close. Can't argue with that. Shasta, OB, and that is going to open the door for Philo. Philo started the day 2 behind Shasta, and after Shasta bogeyed on hole 2, Philo had caught him. Oh no. Yeah, that's the pissed off goose that we see just about every year. Yeah, maybe protective is a better word. Oh, what? Shasta from way downtown cans the par save. What? I talk about it all the time. You have to decide if you even want to go after that because you risk bringing OB into play. Oh, and Philo, who had some issues with his arm yesterday. And just when you think we're going to see potentially a 2-stroke swing, Shasta likely a bogey, Philo likely a birdie, they're both going to par. Unbelievable. Meanwhile, tap in for Krystof, no problem for Joel. This is crazy. Well, they're going to move over to hole number 15, which brand new look here in 2024, thanks to Luke doing some work over here at Samui Disc Golf. Also now Samui Foot Golf. We've got it all. We head up the fairway here. You want to get past any of these trees, any or all of these trees, maybe even past those two would be great. If you could ace the foot golf hole, you'd be happy. You'd be in perfectly good position to then put yourself onto the island and walk away with a birdie. Ah, that's favorable. Joel, keep it clean. Again, just that much forward progress you're going to be happy with, as opposed to where Philo's at. The forward progress by Joel, you don't have to necessarily beat all those trees. You'd love to, but you're definitely within standstill range to still get onto the island and get to the basket if you get to that tree line. Or you could just pure it. Yeah, you could do that. Philo has to be careful because if you put too much on it, you could go all the way to the OB road, and that one is going to come up short. So like we saw him during the second go-around yesterday, he'll have a chance still to save birdie or to capture a birdie from the short side of the island. And Krystof's holding his breath a little bit. Joel went deep last time, but that one's going to curl up just behind the pin. So Joel looking for a birdie. And A1 prime landing zone. Nice little standstill with a gentle hyzer to the pin, under 200 feet. That's where you want to be. It's more like 70 or 80 to the pin yet for Philo, but does still have the easy par. Krystof. No. All right, let's see if Joel can get something going. He's 4 under for the round. And as you can see, falling off the pace of, well, this man, Shasta, started with a 2-stroke lead over Philo. Very quickly let Philo catch him. And now, again, a 2-stroke lead. Big shout out to our friends over at Flying Plate. Let's take a look at some of their merch. Hole 16, pretty straightforward, 312 feet. You can go this high left side route around the tree to the left, or maybe push to this right side. Well, don't run the drone into that tree like I almost did, but then get back on pace and have it track right back to the pin. A sandy beach around this pin, so anything coming in hot will likely check up and sit down pretty quickly. Not enough airspace for that to completely unwind. Shasta has just had this dialed so far, and if that stays clean, wow, that may be a 4th birdie look in 4 chances on this particular hole. Krystof will push to the right side. And Philo missing his line. That's the angle that he often puts on it, but he usually starts it out much more to the left and lets it kind of drag all the way over to the pin. And he's thrown some incredible shots here as well up into this point on this hole. So that one off the mark for him. Krystof trying to save par in a moment, and Joel's going to give it a long bit and draws metal again. I'm sure he's sick of me saying it. I'm sure he's sick of it happening to him. Just not quite been his day today. And Philo did get to pin high all the way down here on the sand, but not able to take advantage. Would that be Sandvantage? Sadvantage? I don't know. We'll chalk that up as a failed attempt on my part. I'll own that L. Shasta from short range, trying to extend his lead, which I don't think he's been able to do past 2 during this round until right now. So he officially now has a 3-stroke advantage over Philo. I mean, if you're going to Thailand, you're obviously playing here in Samui. You're hopefully going to a place like Pattaya, but you definitely have to get up to Chiang Mai. Oh, wait, that's where I'll go next weekend, and I'll have Chiang Mai Open coverage for you as well. So stick around. Don't go anywhere from this channel. You've got this round to finish up, the third round, and then the final 2 of 3 rounds from Chiang Mai. We haven't seen many forehand attempts out of Shasta during this round. I've talked about the swollen hand that he's had, and he's refrained from throwing forehand in a number of places where he did during round number 1. So he must have felt comfortable here, but he draws a little kick off the tree. Krystof, on the other hand, putting it exactly where it needs to be. Philo low and a skip and a roll. Will it be enough? I feel so bad for him. And that's exactly what he's thinking is, how am I hitting everywhere but in? And Shasta tagging the same spot on the basket. So just when Shasta gets the 3-stroke lead, Philo pulls it back within 2. Krystof able to pick up the birdie. And we head to the next one. 253 feet. Most players, whether it's a backhand or a forehand, are going out around here and at some point trying to make it turn to the right. Maybe not quite as right angle as me and the drone action did, but just trying to get around that final tree up there. Might cut this a little closer. Though. That one's not turning at all. And barely checks up inbounds. Driving hasn't been necessarily the problem for Joel. Philo wants that to sit, and it barely does. Stops inbounds for him. Would you love more turns? Sure, but still going to put him inside the circle. All right, so you just saw the small bag, little drawstring bag that Krystof is rocking. We know that Shasta just has his little satchel of 4 or 5 discs. What 4 discs? I'm going to limit you now. What 4 discs are you bringing to this course? That's what I want to know in the comment section. The 4 discs that you're bringing. So Philo is 11 under through 18 today. Shasta looks like he's also 11 under. Not quite the pace they were on the previous day, but still some pretty solid golf. Hole 19 goes back over the water. We just played over this same creek going the other way 2 holes ago. And now this time, instead of an anhyzer, it's a hyzer over the water for a righty backhand player. Philo loves that high line. Just kind of getting it to drop out of the sky at the very end. Shasta loves the low to midline, and he's going to be next to the pin. I mean, birdies are fun. Next to hole number 1, this plays as the second easiest hole on the course. You see collectively the rest of the group all only maybe 18 feet away, not even that. And Krystof way out with his 20-footer. I don't know that we've seen too many star frames, but we can go ahead and chalk this up as one of them. I mean, they're clearly thrilled about it. I mean, just look at it. They're just jumping for joy. All right. 20, 21, and 22 to play. As these guys are closing out their second round. This is a Saturday afternoon. Just 233 feet. Right up the gut. If you don't take this line, you may go inside of that previous tree and go to the right of that if you're throwing the righty backhand shot. Disc golf lawyer Marks Burnett doing work for us. Yes, sir. And Shasta pulls it, and it looks like he may have gotten away with it. He's been parked the previous 3 attempts on this hole. I feel like he's got it pretty much dialed in. And that's too much angle right out of the hand. What? There it is. You know what I always say, it's never too late for a birdie. And that's got to feel good. Maybe a little bit frustrating he had to putt from that far away on this hole, but nonetheless, Krystof not able to knock it down, so he's going to remain 6 under for today's round in total. Like a glitch in the Matrix. Is that the first time we've really seen Shasta miss one of very makeable distance? And Philo's right there to take advantage. Philo with that will pull within 1. You don't win this event 4 times without having a little extra grit and fighting for it. 249, heading back on 21. All right, little momentum in Philo's favor here. Trying to keep the pressure on. He sits one back of Shasta. Currently sitting at 13 under. He opened the tournament with 15. Oh, and that's Philo's tree. I don't know what Joel thinks he's doing hitting Philo's tree. And again, other than showing me just before the round, Shasta has really just kept to himself with regard to his hand, but you can see a few of the releases just not quite as sharp as they were during the opening round. Him switching up his game plan, not quite as many forehands. He didn't have a ton of them in round one, but definitely less of them here in round two. And you already have to be thinking, what's that going to do for him in the final round? You know, is the swelling going to go down? Is it going to get worse? Those are all things that I'm sure he's thinking about. He's still very much in contention and out in front right now, but man, not knowing what that hand's going to feel like when he wakes up the next day, I'm sure has to be a little bit unnerving. But meanwhile, Philo is going to step up and momentarily tie him. Shasta has this for birdie. All right, back on track. So he'll maintain a one-stroke lead going into the final hole of round two. Philo also just a few days short of celebrating a birthday while he's here on the island. Big thanks to Latitude 64, our presenting sponsor of the tournament. Also some new action in the pro shop. Just 246 feet to close out on hole 22. Brings you right back to the clubhouse and party zone. Philo hits the line and gets the skip required. Should be looking for a birdie. Oh, and that's way inside, but somehow that one gets through. He's thrown better shots, I feel like, the previous three times through, yesterday and today, but that one seems to give him the best result. And not sure why we didn't see that one skip all the way through. Krystof's trying to make up for the bogey that he picked up here the first time through today. Joel to get to 8 under on the day. A lot of credit. Joel did not have a lot of things go his way and certainly maintained great composure and poise throughout the day. Shasta. Oh, and it slides out. So Shasta will finish with 13 under to follow up his 17 from the day before. And Philo doesn't tie it up. He has the chance to go into the final round all square, and he too misses the birdie. Krystof capitalizes. He shoots 7 under on the round, following up his 12. And the 4-time Samui Swine champ, Philo Brathwaite, will be 1 behind Shasta Criss. We also will see some hot scorers that come in, and we're going to change out a couple players on our lead card. Like, share, subscribe, do all the YouTube things. Thank you if you're a Patreon supporter and then some. Thank you to all of the sponsors. This coverage certainly couldn't happen without you guys. Shasta Criss will tap in for par. And just like that, we're 2/3 of the way through. Championship Sunday is coming at you. Shasta, Philo, Evan, and Yarno will be on your lead card. We'll see you guys in the final round.